All right, guys, so deciding you want to be a mover, this is a really important topic. Before you jump into any business, you need to be mentally prepared and committed for the long journey ahead. And it is truly a long journey.
Yeah, I think you need to commit at least 6 months to a year. So you want to kind of plan that time out and give it a really good shot. I'm going to commit to make this much in revenue, write that down. I think it's really important to say, okay, in the next 6 months, I want to make this total number in revenue, because subconsciously you're going to be thinking about that number.
And that doesn't mean 6 months to a year, you're not doing any other work or having any other income coming in. It just means that during that time, you're going to commit some amount of your time and energy to your business.
I mean, I think you need to be doing about 20 hours a week. And that's like maybe a Friday night move, Saturday and Sunday move. Like the weekends will be kind of open for you. You already have a job, a couple hours after work when you get home, doing some calls, doing some marketing, kind of building up your base in terms of just your like funnel and lead gen on the sales side. And then making sure that you've got moves lined up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you need to be working all the time. Like your mindset should be, okay, I've got an 8-hour job, I've got responsibilities with, maybe you got a family at home that you need to take care of, but you should be thinking about this business all the time. There's no better business without any prerequisites to be able to make yourself a millionaire. This is just one of those jobs where it's all about hustle and fully merit-based.
Totally. And I think one of the things is that there are a lot of platforms that you can get jobs off of. Even on localmovers.com, we have a lot of customers come in who want a labor-only move because they can't afford all the bells and whistles of a full-service mover. And so they're going to rent their own truck, but they still need a hand. And so we offer those kind of leads. You can get those leads from us, but you can also sign up on other sites like Lug, or you can go on TaskRabbit. There are a lot of different platforms out there where you can find those kind of jobs. And how long do you think until you should see your first actual job coming up?
Yeah, I think that like within the first week, you should be able to do. So if you say you start on a Monday, I'd get on the different apps, download different apps, use kind of an AI tool to figure out where can I source moving jobs. I get a good professional Craigslist post up, maybe look in some Facebook groups, Facebook marketplace groups. You're going to eventually move off platform. You're not going to be on these platforms forever. And so really it's just about getting reps in and getting a feel for the business and developing your kind of methodologies and standard operating procedures that will scale with you through the life of the business.
If you haven't done this before, you might not realize how taxing it is. And you really have to bring your friends and family in on the ride with you. You need the community in your life, your people, to support you to get off the ground. Because as you said earlier, it is something that's going to kind of have to take over your life. If you want to be successful, you have to make a little bit of an obsession out of it, which means everything else in your life has to fit around that. And if you're in a relationship, your partner needs to be on board that this is going to cut into the time and energy that you have for them. But the commitment to having a better life, to getting ahead, to making something more of yourself, this is something where you have to bring the other people around you in on it. It can't just be a solo decision.
People are also going to see you and see your success in the moving business, or you stepping out. And so sometimes they're going to try to hold you down too. So I think the key thing to remember here in writing down your vision, like, why do you want to be a mover? Write those things down. Those motivations are going to be what you come back to when it's raining and it's a Tuesday and somebody's dropped the china and you're like, why am I doing this? I think that those moments you want to remember what you're doing right now in this first kind of episode 0 is like basically outlining a future vision for yourself and where you want to be. And we'll provide at localmovers.com, we'll provide you the tools and support, but really it's on you.
And I want to follow up on a couple of things that you said there. The nice thing about starting a moving company is that you can be your own boss and also set your own standards for how you're going to run your business. Another thing about this vision that you were talking about just now, Dan, is moving is a great way to enter into the larger industry of rigging bigger things, moving more complicated things, trucking and logistics. I mean, you've had a lot of experience in the logistics space and working in that space. Can you talk a little bit about like some of the things that you could imagine moving could open the door to?
Yeah, there's big opportunities beyond just home moves, moving factories, moving sophisticated pieces of equipment. And as you grow, and you can specialize just in the fitment of these different moves.
But I mean, that being said, again, going back to making this decision, household moving does involve going into people's homes and moving their possessions, many of which they may have sentimental attachments to or that are really important. So you also have to ask yourself, do you feel comfortable interfacing with these types of customers? Because in the B2B business, if you're in a building welding, you don't ever have to deal with the end user of that product. You have to deal with the boss, the foreman, all the other folks on the job site. But the way you can communicate with them, the way you can work with them, it's not going to be the same way you can go into someone's house and move their grandma's photos. So that's another important question you have to ask yourself as you go into this. Do you feel comfortable? And especially getting off the ground, there will be a lot of door knocking, there will be a lot of handshaking. And are you ready to do that? Only you know that about yourself. But I think, as we said, one piece of paper is really all you need. Why are you doing this? What's your vision? What's your commitment to yourself? And then write down some of your thoughts about some of the challenges, how you might overcome them, and also some of the things that excite you about the industry.
So when you call the customer, especially in those early days, you can just say, hey, I'm Dan, I'm Bretton, I own this company, I'm the owner, and that immediately builds trust and credibility. So, and it also should build your pride too a little bit as you're starting to build this business. I think the other thing that you mentioned too was writing these things down, super important, and then taking it back, getting some advisors, maybe some other entrepreneurs, other tradesmen that you are friends with. If they're, older than you, or they're just older in the business than you, like have more experience. Those are going to be the critical people that you look to. They've already hired people. They've already scaled the business. They've done it themselves. They understand all the pain. Those people are going to be invaluable because you're going to be able to talk to them. They're not going to try to hold you back in your aspiration. They're oftentimes going to push you to the next level, to just something that you can build a family around, like a family in terms of a business family, and then just a community around. It's really important.
Yeah. And to follow up on that point, kind of close out a little bit, no matter how many Amazon courier deliveries you do at night in your box truck and drop it off, no one's ever going to thank you. You're never going to tip. Amazon's certainly not going to do that. But if you do a great job with your customer, there are plenty of folks out there who are happy on a multi-$1,000 job to give you many hundreds, if not $1,000 tip on that and shake your hand and be really happy. So that's one of the things about, if you can do this, it's great. So I guess it's really up to you. Are you ready to take this journey? Are you ready to launch your entrepreneurial venture? If so, stay tuned. We got a lot more great helpful tips for you coming up.